You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again, and you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
In today's Zomboid mod guide, we take a look at some humble homages to various other horror series and franchises, from the classics like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, to more modern games like Left 4 Dead, Dying Light, or even films such as Romero's original Dead trilogy. Before we dive in, however, I'd like to give a shout out to FOXFIRE for her lovely artwork today. Now let's begin, shall we? This is the mod that inspired me to make this particular video. Created by Boris Worm, this map mod seeks to emulate some of the atmosphere and ambience while also recreating some of the areas found within Silent Hill 1. Personally, while I do appreciate the attempt, overall I feel it's a poor recreation. While I get they were going more towards recreating the atmosphere of Silent Hill with the destroyed bridges and all that, I feel that it's better done with just editing your game settings to play in a specific manner, such as how he suggests, minimizing the zombies, cranking up the fog, increasing the likelihood of locked/closed doors. While in general the placement of several key points are correct, they are never anywhere near accurate to the layout shown in the game, and are very much shrunk down versions at best, and at worst, just the same type of building and the location the actual place would be in game. There are other mods out there that help to recreate that atmosphere better in my opinion, like our next mod. Now this mod I really do like. Created by Monkey, now you have to either A, find a recipe book that teaches you how to make it, or B, convert an existing radio or walkie-talkie into this radio. This depends on which version of the mod you choose to play with. Easy mode lets you convert an existing radio, while the regular mode forces you to make it from scratch. Now what does this radio do? Well, it does exactly what the radio does in Silent Hill. Whenever an enemy gets close to you, it'll play these familiar static and sound effects, alerting you to the presence of enemies. The closer you are to the enemy, the louder it gets, and vice versa. The farther they get away, the more it fades. Personally, I really do like it, especially if you play it with the settings I discussed in the last entry. It serves to both ramp up the tension and add to the immersion of that Silent Hill experience. There's something just right about wandering in the intense fog while worrying where the hell the source of that static is. Watch out before they close all around you. Grisly ghouls to seal your doom. If you're not careful, you'll be having a thriller. This mod, created by Creoasis Squad, he seeks to recreate the look found more within the Romero's Dead trilogy. As the mod creator notes, zombies in general looked a lot cleaner, a lot less blood soak around them outside of their fatal wounds, and they come in a different variety of colors, being more shades of white, yellow, and green, as well as attempting to make their eyes look less discolored and soulless. Personally, I like how they look. It's definitely not a bad reskin, and goes for a simpler time within the zombie genre, back before it became one of the most overpopulated genres out there, and it became hard to find good movies and games. This would probably pair nicely with a mall map mod, or maybe just hanging around in the vanilla mall, cause what zombie movie's complete without a shopping mall of the damned? Honestly, as a fan of the old school zombie movies, this mod really does tickle my fancy. I'd recommend it. Another map that might pair nicely with it would be Raven Creek, going for that large, destroyed urban environment, giving you a place to fight through the hordes of the dead. This map mod, inspired by Evil Dead and created by Reserved 2, this map pays homage to the original Evil Dead films. You'll awaken outside a cabin in the woods. Zombies are all around and on the prowl. Will you choose to fortify the cabin, or maybe utilize one of the other buildings located around the map? Keep in mind though, the civilization portion of the map is across a bridge, and wouldn't you know it, the bridge has been destroyed. I guess if you want to explore the neighborhood and raid the small military section, you'll have to build parts of the bridge back yourself. and cross the waters, or maybe just hide back on your side of the river. Keep in mind that this isn't 100% based on Evil Dead, more inspired by, and also that this map is fairly small. There's a decent amount of stuff, but this map isn't part of the main map. So once you're out of areas to search, then that's it, you're out. Now, abundance-wise, resources seem to be decently prevalent, likely to help counteract the small scale. Either that or I was just very lucky. I like this little lone cabin map. It looks good and has that feeling of a decrepit old home in the woods. Maybe consider using resource respawn if you want to avoid the potential of running out of supplies completely. If not, you better get good at living off the land and foraging. One funny incident that happens when I booted up the map, my first run, the damn cabin was house alarmed. So that was interesting. Fuck. Created by Oasis Squared, who was also responsible for the Romero Reskin. This mod adds a Lovecraftian twist to your shambling undead. It's also visually inspired by the sleepers from the game GTFO. Thank God he didn't change any of the coding though to make them act like them. Now take a person and instead of a face, they just have varying degrees of a massive fucking mouth filled with rows upon rows of razor sharp teeth. Now imagine that this creature has hundreds more just like it coming after you from all around. Yeah, now that's a terrifying prospect. The only thing that'd make it worse is if they added a sound mod to make the zombies sound even more terrifying. Maybe have them scream or screech when they detect you. Now that would be nightmare fuel. Overall, I like it, Squared. Good job on the texture work. They look good and goddamn are they creepy. I'd recommend maybe pairing it with the Silent Hill radio in the fog settings. Don't mind me while I just load up on my trusty shotgun. Cause no matter what dimension you're from, 12 gauge buckshot's still pretty damn effective at putting you down. One last thing I'd like to note is sometimes the reskin mods won't download or install correctly. This can usually be fixed by unsubbing and resubbing. I had to do this both for Romero's and the Biters. I'm not sure why this happens. I think the skin tries to replace the overall usual skin, because I had it boot with the Biter skin when I loaded the Romero skin instead. So I'm not exactly sure why though. You want a bit of a Resident Evil feel to your game? Well now, the police uniforms are replaced with RE2 inspired reskins. Now you can have your RPD logo blazing on your arm, or maybe wearing an RPD bulletproof vest. This mod was created by Negan, so you better download this mod if you don't want him to batter your eyes out of your skull. But yeah, overall, this mod, while simple and straight to the point, I enjoy it. It's cool to see the RPD summer uniforms translated into Zomboid. Now all we need is the RPD map mod to go with it, and we'll be rolling in style, recreating the RPD's last days with the boys before it's overrun by the hordes. And hey, with build 41 adding beer, you can crack open a cold one and get ready to beat down on those zombies. Let's just hope Mr. X doesn't come to ruin our fun. Imagine if someone tried to recreate Raccoon City in this game. Now that would be crazy. With that, I think we've covered a good amount of the homage mods out there. There isn't exactly a huge amount of them, and many of the ones that are there are sound mods that require you to locate the folder the sound effects are in and use that to replace the files in the other folders, which is something I don't really want to mess with. But overall, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Be sure to support the artist down below. Also keep in mind I have links to the Discord and other ways to interact and support the channel in the description as well. This has been Core, and I'll see you next time.